Do you know those Instagram stories and posts that say hashtag blessed, hashtag perfect? Well, it's not always like that. Deep down inside, there are a lot of things that we hold so dearly that very few know about. And I just happen to be one of those people. But today I'm going to be sharing my story and reminding you that you are never alone in what you face. Let's dive in.
Growing up as a little kid, I never knew what mental health was, but it wasn't until after I turned 14 I went through some of the hardest moments of my life.
I began to lock in a little bit with myself in an unusable way, so I wouldn't tell anybody what's going on in my life verbally, but I would post about it on social media. And I remember right before I started high school, I had posted that if I'm alive before I start high school, then please kill me. That was when I knew I hit rock bottom without even knowing it. At first, I thought it was normal because everybody has gone through that stage in life where they feel uncertain, where they feel worried, they feel afraid. So I figured, I'm not the only one. But as the days continued and as the weeks went by, it just got worse and worse. And I didn't even know I was digging my own grave until I started doing this.
If you guessed vaping, you guessed correct. Something that I thought I can never do in my life, I ended up doing it. And while it was comforting and relieving, it brought many burdens and troubles.
I did not want anything to do with anybody, and I just felt like I couldn't do anything. I was home most of the time, and most days I would just sit on my phone and not really do that much because it didn't have a clear intention as to what I wanted to do to keep me busy but also give me a life. And in doing so, I just felt like drugs were the only solution. And I did a pretty good job at hiding it too. So it's not like anybody knew what I was doing. I almost got busted, but luckily I was smart enough to lie my way out of it. But later on, I got confronted for it. And when I did, I just felt so guilty. I didn't necessarily feel guilty to the point where I wanted to unalive myself, but I did feel guilty in the fact that I caused so much pain and so much sorrow to people who just genuinely had love for me that I just cannot grasp.
Luckily, we went to Myrtle Beach and it was awesome.
Now, you would think that it would all end there, right? You would think that, John, you have the best life. You get to go on vacations almost every year. Not a lot of people get to do that. No, my friend. Right after we came back, the things started to settle in. And I went through one of the most darkest, dreadful moments in my life that I will forever remember until the day I die.
I kept on going with it because still thought that there was no other solution to all my problems besides drugs. And on top of that,
I made many reckless decisions and I did not think twice about it, which put me in a very bad state of mind, ending up in me attending an outpatient drug program because I was addicted to drugs at the time, nicotine and alcohol, though I only did it once. But I just felt so guilty over there as well. I felt good that I was out of school and didn't have to deal with homework, but still, the pain, the agony, every dark feeling you can think of, that was what I was feeling. And maybe you feel that way. Maybe you felt that way for a very long time. Maybe you wonder if you're even worth that greater cause because of all that you've done and what plays out in your everyday life. You feel like you're not getting the amount of respect you deserve. You feel like you're not worthy enough. You feel like nobody sees you, that nobody understands you. Well, let me tell you a truth that forever changed my life the day I opened it. About 2 years later, after I'd gone through all of my sorrow, after I had gone through all of my depression, after I had gone through all of my rebellious ways, and I was tired and I was down on my knees, I was at the bottom of the bottom. It's John chapter 16, verse 33. Surely I tell you, this world will come with many trouble, but take heart, for I have overcome the trouble. The minute I opened that verse, it forever changed my life. It helped me to understand that everything that I was going through, while some of it could have been avoided, it's a part of life, and it can be used to spread awareness to those who are struggling with the very things that I was struggling with at the time, and others do to this day. So what I thought was a wasted experience, what I thought can never be worth telling, ended up did. And I document almost every day of my life, reminding you guys that you are not the only one, and that you don't have to settle for fear. You don't have to settle for depression. You don't have to put yourself at the bottom when God has you at the top. I wish somebody had told me this back when I was young, because I felt like it was dwindled in some ways. I felt like it was true in some ways, but it was false in others. Don't let anything fool you, because it's all a facade. You only see 60 seconds of their life, or you only see that moment of their life, or that frame. You don't see the full picture. Nobody ever just... Everybody has a story. Everybody has been through some hell at some point in their lives, and everybody is fighting battles that none of us know about at times. But we just have to remember that we are all the Lord's children, and our job is to help one another. It's our job to let each other know that everything is and will be okay. It's our job to root each other on in the small and in the big wins, in the highs and lows, because that's what God wants for all of us. If I'm being honest, if God saw the world today, he wouldn't be too pleased with it, because there's a lot of hate, there's a lot of discrimination, and there's a lot of very detrimental stuff going on this planet Earth. So, as people of God, and to those who have a voice, use it to remind the public of the goodness of God and the good things on this earth. Now, if there's one thing that I want you to take away from this video, is that your struggles do not define you, and they do not define your future. My DMs are always open, so if you ever feel low in your life, if you ever feel like you can't talk to anybody, then just shoot me a DM on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'm usually active on those throughout the day, primarily towards the evening. And just tell me what's on your mind. I'm here for you. I hope you guys learned something from this, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless you.